For today's Try It section, the first thing we have to do is draw a model that represents 35, which is the total. So it goes here at the end of a model, right? So we have a rectangle with the total, which is the dividend, put at the end. It is going to be split into 5 equal parts. So we would draw our lines, splitting it into, our goal would be that they all look exactly alike, because that's the idea with doing division in these models, is that each section is equal, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts. Okay, our first question is, what amount is in each group? So we've got to figure out, what can I do times 5 to equal 35? If I have my multiplication facts memorized, I would know right away what that would be. If I don't, I could count by 5s. I could say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That would be 7 times that I would do that. So I would try the number 7 in each box. So if I have 7 there, there's another 7. Remember, they're all equal. So if one's 7, they're all 7. And you can try 7 times 5, is that 35? Yeah, because I know my multiplication facts, it is. I could also have added them. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 7 is 21, plus 7 is 28, plus 7 is 35. So at any rate, the amount in each group is 7. So if I wrote that as a division sentence, it would be like this with a variable. 35 divided by 5 equals k. If I wrote it knowing that answer, the quotient, the answer is 7. Okay. The word problem, in a word problem, how do you know if it's a division problem? So there is this flow chart that you were asked to copy into your notes. It tells you the first question is, do I know the total? So if you're reading a word problem, you would see if you do know the total. If it's yes, you go to the next question. That next question says, are there equal groups? If there are, yes, it would be a division problem. So that is the answer to that. I know the total and there are equal groups. By the same token, I could ask you, how do you know it's an addition problem? You would say, do I know the total? No. So I don't know the total, and there are not equal groups. That would lead to an addition problem. Okay, so it's just following the yeses and nos on that flow chart. Okay, the next question said to draw a model, write an equation using that flow chart to choose the operation, and solve the following problem. Here it is. So it says I have 33 collectible airplanes. I put the same amount of airplanes on each shelf of my display case. If I have 3 shelves, how many planes belong on each shelf? So here I'm going to underline my question. How many planes belong on each shelf? Okay, I'm going to circle my important information. I have 33 total, right? That's all the airplanes there are. Okay, so that's an answer, first of all, to that question. Do I know the total? Yes, there are 33 total collectible airplanes. I put the same amount of airplanes on each shelf. That's an important word. That's telling me that it's the same thing happening, right? So they are equal groups. And I have 3 shelves that they're going to be split upon. Okay, so if I'm doing that, then yes, I know the total. Yes, there are equal groups, so that's a division problem. So here in my model, I've got my total amount of airplanes at the end. I'm going to split that total. This box represents all 33 into 3 equal groups. It looks like that. And now I just need to figure out what goes in each box. Well, if I know my multiplication facts, I would know that 3 times 11 equals 33. And I could add those up. I would have 11, 22, 33. I could also count by 3s until I got to 33. And if I did that, it would be the 11th multiple of 3. Okay, so there's an equation for it. 33 divided by 3 equals some variable. I just chose a p as a lowercase letter. The solution would be 11. And then the label is airplanes, because that's what I'm talking about, right? So airplanes or planes, either one would be correct. All right, the next one says I have 54 chairs that I will set up at an assembly. Each of the 9 rows must have the same number of chairs. How many chairs are there in each row? Okay, so that's my question. Here is my total. I know that I have the word each, which tells me equal groups, and it says that there are 9 rows. So I've got 54 total. So here's my model showing 54 as a total. That's what that entire rectangle represents. I'm going to split it into 9 groups because that's what it's showing there, right? So 1, they're so small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so remember, if I were a computer, these would be perfectly even because that's what each of these represent, equal groups. So I could figure out what number goes into each of those boxes. If I had my multiplication facts memorized, I could think, what do I have 9 times of to equal 54? I could make a list of 9s. If I didn't know that, I could count by 9s, right? But at any rate, you're going to get the number 6. So I could put them in here, and then I can count them to make sure, right? So I'd have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 54. Okay, all right, so then the solution is 6 chairs. All right, good luck. Hope you did well.